Hello guys, hello and welcome to another episode of How to How. This is episode 2 and we're dealing with Long Island approaches. So that's islands 5 and 4. Namely 5 because that's where the blues are going to be. Now, the first thing I'm going to teach you is to stutter a front blue. Now, basically what stuttering is when you sand and then you shift after you sand before the blue cancels you out. Blue counts as you shift out, and then the sand settles, allowing you to shift again, and that's basically a stutter. So why do we stutter? We stutter because it resets the towers. What I mean by that is that when you stutter, so when that first shift happens, the tower sees you, you shift, and then they don't see you anymore. They can't see you, and so they revert back. And it's only when you come out of the shift because of the blue that they'll see you again, and then they'll start firing. So you fire sand in the turn, then you shift again. That's it in real time. I know it's a bit quick, so I've got a slow-mo for you next. Basically, the gist of it is you sand in the turn, and then you shift. So here, slow it down. You sand, and you shift. You shift again when it comes available. You need to be quick there because the timing is very precise on trying to get that to dodge the super shots. Now I've got that for you even slower. So as you can see, you sand out there, and then you shift. And then we shift again here. You've got to be staring basically at that shift button. So as soon as it becomes available, you shift. Now mid blue is a little bit different because the blue's further back. So you need to sand it earlier to allow time for the sand to settle, and also you need a later shift because if you shift early then you'll just go straight into the flak and the flak will kill you. You need to time it a little bit later. So you see here, sand in the turn, shift, and then you shift again. Stuttering is basically the same. Once you can do one stutter on the Long Island, you can kind of do it again, but this one's a little bit different. So you sand, turn, you shift, and then we shift again. It becomes kind of muscle memory after you repeat it over and over and over again. Gist of it, you just sand in the turn a little bit earlier, leave it a little bit longer to shift, and then you shift again. And that's how you do mid blue. Okay, so for outside blue, you're going to do much the same as you did before. You're going to sand, you're going to shift. The blue's going to cancel your shift, and then you're going to shift again. Shooting in the turn is the most important thing with all of the shifts. Doing so allows you to avoid super shots and to avoid flak shots, and allows your shift to come back to you sooner. So as you saw there, shifted, fired sand in the turn, and then I shifted. And I shifted again. And see the fire flak didn't see me. If that was an ice flak, it would be different. The ice flak does see you from that distance, and so the shift is different, but we'll cover that later. Okay, so the second part of the video is the back blues. I mean by that, the blues at the back of Island 5. Now, this is not a stutter, this is a blink. A blink is just the sand, and then you shift. There is no need for the sand, shift, shift. It's just a sand and a shift. Now, the back blues, once you get them down, it's the easiest thing you're going to do with how, because once you got that committed to muscle memory, you'll probably never miss or get killed on that, regardless of what setup is there, regardless if it's an ice flak, if it's lightning. All of it is easy when it comes to the back blues. Whenever I see a big with back blues, I'm like, finally, this is going to be easy, because basically once you sanded and turn, you wait for the tower to fire, and then you shift. So you just avoid all the damage. If you shift too early, maybe you might get cloak glitch, which is what you need to look out for. But other than that, it's fairly straightforward. With the back blues, the most important thing is positioning of the finger that you're going to press sand with. I tend to use my thumbs, and you position your you position your finger so that it hits the top of the mages. Now, depending on the setup, if there's, like, let's say a red mage at the front, you might hit the red mage instead of the blue, and so you'll die. So it's better to be safe than sorry and aim high. So as you see there, fired sand at the blue, I waited for the shot to come at me, and then I shifted and I avoided all the damage. That's basically it. The most important part: shoot in the turn, aim for the top of the mage, so have your thumb fairly high up, and there you go. That's how you do a Long Island back blue. In this one, I just wanted to show that the ice flak super shot doesn't work if you time the shift correctly, because everyone knows it has to hit you for it to have any effect. If it doesn't hit you, then the ice flak super shot won't work. So by shifting, you can avoid the super shot and the damage and the spell block. Right, so now I've covered basically how to approach the front of the Long Island. I'm going to do a quick one on actually how to basically finish off the rest of the island. As you just saw there, as soon as I sand that first blue, I then sand the blue on island 4. If the blue on island 4 is at one of the front 3 positions, you need to sand it straight after you sand that first blue on 5, because if you don't, you'll die basically, because the blue will see you and you'll come out of time shift and everything else will hit you. So to avoid that, what you do, if there is a blue at the front of 4, you have to sand that after you finish sanding the blue on 5. The only difference to that is if there is a blue at the back of 4. If there's a blue at back of 4, you get 1 sand before you have to sand that back blue. So I would first sand the blue coming to approach the island. I would then sand a flak and something else, so do the double sand, and then straight away you then have to sand the back blue. If you don't, the blue will see you and you'll die. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I just want to say thanks for watching. I know it's a lot to take in, and so probably need to watch it more than once or twice. I'll leave the timestamps in the description so you can practice them individually and won't have to kind of try and scroll through the video to try and see them. If you need any help, add me online. I'm Proud Enemy, and I'll gladly help out. How is a big pain? Hello guys, hello and welcome. And you need to kind of keep going at it and at it, going at it and going at it and wasting loads of potions and etc, etc. But it does pay off and it feels amazing once you are able to fly her properly. So keep going at it. Again, as I said, if you need any help, add me online or comment below. And if you like it, please subscribe and like. Thank you guys.